Deb Fordham. I'm one of the writers of Scrubs. And Jonathan has asked us how to become a writer and what advice I would give to aspiring writers. Answer is very simple. Pretty much we all got here the same way. You have to write what we call spec scripts. These are writing samples. So, for example, when I first was trying to get into the business, I wrote a Frasier and a Malcolm in the Middle. These are actual episodes that are formatted correctly. They tell a story, they're funny, they're just like actual episodes, but they will never be filmed. They are simply a calling card. So you have to write those. Usually you need to write 2. Send those to agents. Hopefully one of them will read it and actually like it and then call you in and sign. And then once you have an agent, the agent will send you out on meetings, and hopefully somebody will like you and hire you. That's pretty much the way to do it. If you want to be a writer, you have to write. You got to do it. So, by the way, this is not my Hummer. I drive a Prius. I am very eco-friendly. Not my car.
Sebastian, favorite episode. My favorite episode is going to be the 200th episode, because that will be 5 years from now, and we'll have been together that much longer. I think, for me, it's so hard to pick a favorite episode, but I love the first episode of every season. This year was the the episode where the intern through my intern's eyes, and you see half the episode through the intern's eyes, and really it's just because it's the first episode, everybody's back together, it's like the family comes back together, and I just have the fondest memories of the first episode of every year.
I'm Rob Young. I'm the transportation captain, which means I take care of all the equipment when the company's out on location on the street. And Bonnie from Australia has asked us whether or not we have interference from people stopping cars to try to find out what's going on. Holding up traffic. And yes, we do constantly. We've had more than one instance where we've had accidents take place right in front of the set. People stop to see what we're doing. The car behind them is also looking, and we've had more than one accident right in front of the set. It's very common. Here at the hospital, when we're shooting in front or somewhere where they can see us from the street, we get people stopping all the time. We just had an incident last week. I don't know if I can say what we were filming out there because it'll give it away, but we had traffic narrowed to one lane, and we had people stopping in that one lane of traffic, completely tying up the road, jumping out, wanting to take photos, and even with the police officers out there telling them to move, they wouldn't do it. And it's a constant issue. We have people stop their cars, park anywhere they want, try to walk up, see what we're doing, and get to the actors. So, Bonnie, I hope that answers your question. And if anybody else has any questions regarding that, go ahead and ask.
I think my favorite episode, and not because it was the greatest episode we ever did, but Michael J. Fox came and did a cameo with us, and I worked with Michael on Spin City, as well with Bill Lawrence and Randall Winston, and so it was kind of a mini reunion for all of us here, and it was a pretty swell week. We shot 2 episodes in 1 week, or we shot all of his scenes in 1 week, and then we shot the remainder of those episodes the following week. But that was pretty great. It was called My Porcelain God, and we had this wacky toilet that the janitor conceived of and built and put up on the roof, and so it was a very creative episode and very, very nice to be part of for many reasons. So that's my favorite.
Peter, you want to know if Zach ever refused to do a stunt, or that there was a safety concern? Well, being the stunt coordinator along with my son Noon, that yes, there was. We had a fire gag that was too big to light Zach on fire, and so what we did is in the episode we made a switch. His double came out totally on fire, but Zach stood up partially on fire with his arm on fire, and he was keen to do that, and that was safe. He does most of his own stunts, believe it or not. We do only where it's too dangerous will he do that. In another show, we did a what was that? I'm trying to remember. The Slide for Life. Believe it or not, from about 60 feet, that was Zach on his own, and he happened to be the director of that episode. Crazy guy slid all the way down across the street, and then the payoff, I had to use his double to crash into the side of the building. But a lot of people wouldn't go 2 feet off the ground, and Zach was 60 feet hanging by a wire, and we had to show him that it was safe, and he was keen to go. There you have it.
All right, well, I'm Danny Rose. I'm the co-producer here at Scrubs. And this is an answer to Sebastian, who lives in Walla Walla, Washington. Is that right?
Close enough.
Sebastian from Anytown, USA. Sebastian might be from the town that Scrubs actually takes place in. Anytown, USA.
We'll have to look into that.
Yes, dude. And Sebastian wants to know what my favorite... Well, did you see my dog? Did you get my dog in there? Harley? Harley? You have to get a Harley out. He might be too close to you.
Harley. There's a lot of Harley on that screen.
There was?
Yeah.
Because if not, there's a picture there. That's a good one. Look at that one. And here. And Harley... I can check my computer. Harley, my favorite episode is the one that he was in, which is 404, directed by Ken Whittingham, and actually the boy in the shot with him is Ken's son. And that was a fun day, and that's my favorite episode because my boy, it's all about my boy, is in that episode. It's his birthday today. What else you want to know, Sebastian? Are you going to talk to me? What else? What else we got?
All right, the question is from Michelle. What is the significance of this license plate 2FAN321? The significance is no significance. It's just like this plate, although we've added stickers to it, and we've dirtied it up to give it some life. These plates are plastic, and we have them injected molded at a prop house here in Los Angeles, and these numbers are all for film use only. Coincidence that you keep seeing this return. That's the only thing there is, but rest assured you'll never see it again because we're taking it out of the stock.
Hi everybody, I'm Phyllis Williams, I'm in the makeup department, and my favorite episode is the episode where Nadine and I turned Sarah's character into Donald. But it's kind of weird because she was a combination of Sarah and Donald. So she was a white woman who was black, who was a black man. She was this white woman she was black with tits and she had what do you call it, goatee and bald head. It was and blue eyes. It was wild, and that's my favorite.
Hi, Paola from Italy. Of course, I remember you from New York for Modern Orthodox when you came to see the play. Thank you so much. And you were asking how I'll do both Scrubs this year and Chaos Theory, the movie at the same time. And basically, the creator of the show, Bill Lawrence, is super generous about letting us try and fit other things in if he can. And so I'm just going to fly back and forth between here and Vancouver, which is my hometown. So I'm very excited that it's filming there over the next month or so to get to do both.
I'm Steve from Dublin, who asked who decides what the story arcs for the season are. The way it works is there's about, how many of us, 14 writers? Something like that, 12, 14 writers. And we get together at the beginning of the year and we throw out all kinds of ideas from doctors we've interviewed and stuff like that. And then we think about our characters and how we want, like Turk and Carly getting pregnant, like where is that going to go? We come up with a bunch of different options, and then we run them all by Bill Lawrence, and then he has the final say on what goes and what doesn't. And then it ends up in really unorganized boards like this. So I hope that answers your question, Steve from Dublin.
My favorite episode of Scrubs is the one that Sean Kroll was the key grip on. It was My Old Lady, Season 1.
Alright, Ken, Rob asks if you were afraid of being typecasted.
No, as long as it's type O positive.
Alright, excellent, thank you.
Question by Peter. Peter asks, how many drafts does a typical Scrubs script go through and how much of an original script ends up in the final version? There's a couple variables there. A lot of it depends on how much time we have. At the beginning of the season, when we're not under such a time crunch, we will take more time on each script, and of course, Bill Lawrence has the final say. If he thinks that a script's in really good shape, we'll take maybe a couple passes. If it's not such a good shape, then we'll go anywhere from 5 to 6 to plus revisions. How much stays on average? Again, there's a lot of variables, and I would say 40% on average. But sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, depending on how good the script is. All right, take care.
All right, my name's Tim Serta, and my favorite episode on Scrubs is episode 301, My American Girl.
Hi, this is Garrett Donovan, and I'm answering Andrew's question, which was basically what kind of hours do the writers work. Usually we roll in about 9:30 or 10, and are out of here by 6:30. That's usually how it goes, but then like in the middle of the season we start to get behind and the hours get later. A lot of times we'll order dinner at say 2 or 3 nights out of the week. Then we're going home around 7:38. And a couple nights out of the year I would say we pull all-nighters. That's like when the show's going to be shot the next day and we don't have the script completed. The earlier seasons we had 5, 6 all-nighters during the season, but as the show goes on season by season, the all-nighters become fewer and fewer. So, if that makes sense. So that's a long-winded answer to what kind of hours do the writers keep. And keep watching the show.
My favorite Scrubs